Hello and welcome to another episode of Tuesday. It's Tuesday Tea Break Talks is what we decided to call it last week. It's a quick break from the chaos to hear about all things Shopify. First off, because it's a tea break, I'm interested to know what sort of tea you guys are drinking. I'm drinking a 3 chamomile pucker tea, which is absolutely delicious. I drink a lot of this stuff in the office, gallons of it here. And not only that, we've got some lovely new Winning with Shopify mugs. I had a sudden idea to order some, and they came literally next day. I love the internet these days. Winning with Shopify. And if you want to win one of these mugs, then just give us a quick email with either a cool fact about Shopify, cool fact about your business on Shopify, or some sort of amazing quote that motivates you in life. If we use any of those, I mentioned Jeff last week came up with the something to do with the tea break around the Tuesday Talks. We have sent one of these out to you, Jeff. Enjoy your cup. Please send me a selfie with it. I designed them myself. I put the logo on as big as possible on a small little online website thingy. I can't remember who I used. And it says solid, authentic advice. Nice and simple. But anyway, if you haven't got a cup of tea, click pause, go make a cup of tea. If you listen to it on your headphones, you could make a cup of tea whilst you continue listening to it. Anyway, lots to go through this week. These are going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. We're going to be going through a few little bits and pieces. We've got some news about Shopify, as always. We've got some from our partners. In fact, 2 new features coming out, one of our partners, and a funky little discount you can get with those guys as well. And also, as always, a few learnings from the agency. And the trivia question this week is probably one of my favorites because it's about Shopify and it's super nerdy. And I'm going to give you guys a chance to answer it as well. Play a little game with your team if you are listening in a group. Anyway, this week's quote, absolute legend, Bill Gates. He said something, and I'm taking this slightly out of the context he said it and putting it into our context in the e-commerce world. He said, your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. And he's absolutely right. When I heard this quote, it was probably about 6 months ago, maybe 9 months ago now. My memory is evading me as I get older. But the reviews, customer service, etc., and other things that we look at in e-commerce and the way we talk to our customers and hear from our customers, I think this is so important. There was something that happened with a brand recently, and we're helping them kind of get out of this rut at the moment. What happened is their revenue started dropping and they didn't know why. And we've had a look and it's been a bit of a head scratch and we actually don't know why. So what I love about this quote is it's saying that your unhappy customers are the greatest source of learning. So if you talk to customers that don't buy, it's the devil you know rather than the devil that you don't. So I highly recommend, if you're not talking to your customers, you need to start talking to them. We always say when we're talking to various review platforms on here as well and various store owners that actually your negative reviews are just as important as the positive ones. Obviously, it does lower your star rating and that kind of thing. And everyone wants to shout about being a 5-star rated business. But the learnings from them are really, really important. And this doesn't just stem to reviews. I'd also think about, as I said earlier, customer service. Talk to your customer service teams and say, what are some of the biggest issues you get? And it's interesting with customer service, especially to split them by pre-sale and post-sale as well. So if somebody pre-sale is always asking about the dimensions of this product, even if they're on the page that they're looking at on the website, they're clearly not clear. You need to make them as obvious as possible. Let's talk about some Shopify news. Slightly shorter list than last week. There's only been a few updates. Web pixels now load on customer accounts and order status pages, which means you've got more room for optimization. Those pages used to be locked from putting any sort of tracking pixels or anything like that on. There are some limitations with it. You won't be able to capture somebody's email address, of course. But if you're the Shopify store master, then you will have access to their email address anyway. But yeah, you can certainly load the pixels in there, which is quite cool. We've done it for a couple of clients already. It was only released last week. We did it for a couple of clients literally this morning. I'm recording this on Monday, 28th of July, by the way. So literally did it this morning, which is quite cool. And I'm awaiting some data. I want to see what actually happens on those pages, dwell times, and how many people drop off when they look at things like, or when they go to my account, what they're actually looking for, and how often does somebody view the order status page between them buying a product and it getting sent out, because that might change some of the communication that we send or some of the information that we put on the webpage. New enhanced costs editor being rolled out. Woo! Sorry, it shouldn't say cost. There's a typo in my notes. It's a new enhanced code editor and not cost. I must have been thinking about money at the time. But it's a new code editor. So where you currently edit your liquid templates and things, you can do searches now. I think before you could only search for the name of a file in there, whereas now when you do a search, you can search within the files. So if you see a bit of code on the front of your site, you want to find it in the theme editor. If it is in the theme editor, not all code will be, but if it is, you can do a search and it'll bring up, unless you search up the files, and it will bring up the file that's got that piece of code. Number 3 out of 4 is bulk CSV importing is now available for inventory transfers. I don't get too involved in this, but one of my clients has been praising this last week. He hasn't used it yet. So I will ask David once he's used it how he's finding it and how he's getting on with it. But there is now a bulk CSV import for inventory transfers. And finally, there is now, and again, point of sale, not my world, but for anyone that's using Shopify point of sale, unified editor has come out now for point of sale customization. You can go and check this out on the Shopify website. There'll be more information on there as well. Amazing. We're like halfway and it's only been, 4 and a bit minutes? Excellent. I'm smashing through this and I've not even had any tea yet. If you've not had any tea, we're going to have a quick sip of tea and then we'll carry on. Delicious. I love chamomile. I don't know why it's 3. I don't know why. I should probably read the packet. There are 3 different types of chamomile listed on the packet. That'll be the trio, but it's delicious. Very fruity. One of our partners then, Yoast. Yoast have been busy with not 1, but 2 new features, which is quite cool. Yoast are one of our sponsors. They have created, and they do a lot of, their plugins do a lot of SEO stuff, which is why I absolutely love them. Is I obviously work in the SEO world, and they are the best, the biggest website plugin in the entire world. Last time I'm checking, I think it was. We had them on the show a few weeks ago, but it's biggest, the most used plugin in the world for websites, and that's off the back of their success on WordPress. They do now have a Shopify plugin. They didn't sponsor the wrong podcast by accident. They have a Shopify plugin, which is very, very much worth you guys going to check out. If you want 15% of the plugin, WWS is the code. So winning with Shopify, but WWS stands for winning with Shopify. It's code to use, get 15% off. The 2 things they've released, one is amazing. My team love this. They've been playing with it the last few days. Google Docs add-on. That gives you SEO best practice, optimize in real time, smart suggestions on making sentences easier to read, and keeping content balanced for SEO purposes. So you make sure you've got the right amount of content on the page, make sure it's optimized around keywords, blah, 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 blah. So some really, really good stuff around that. And as I say, it's all in real time as well. So Google Docs will actually link to your Shopify store, I believe. I've not touched it myself. My team are raving about it, as are the guys at Yoast. So go and check that out. I think it's £5 a month to use it. I don't know if our discount works on that particular plugin, but definitely go and check it out if you're creating content, because then most of us will work in Google Docs. You can continue working in Google Docs, but you also get the benefit of having that real-time plugin to make it more optimized. The second one, now this one is big. There is a file that everybody needs to add to their Shopify store, or any store you're using, or any website you work on. It's called LLM.txt, an LLM.txt file. So anyone that's listened to the last few episodes where we talked about SEO over the last couple of months, LLM is for the AI bots. So when somebody's asking ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, hey, I want to find a new t-shirt to buy, you need to make sure that the AI bots are reading your website so you get recommended with your t-shirt. This file, the LLM.txt file, will tell Google what your website is about, where the important content is, and some clean, plain text versions of your content for it to look at. It reminds me of something that we used to do a lot with, still exists, but we don't talk about it very much anymore, which is AMP, which is the Accelerated Mobile Project. And it's where you basically have an article, and we would make a very small, plain, or as plain as possible version of that article, and Google would put that article on google.com.co.uk.de, whatever country you're in, and would put that simplified version of that on Google until somebody clicked on something or clicked read more or wanted to expand on their journey within that. Then Google would send them into your website. So you would actually get loads of traffic to that, whilst it looked like it was actually on Google's domain, because Google would have downloaded that content. And it sounds like a very, very similar thing. So Yoast, both the free and paid version, on Shopify and on WordPress. If any of you guys are using WordPress and WooCommerce and stuff like that, it will do it automatically. Well, not automatically, you've got the option to do it on there on the free and the paid versions. So go and tick that box unless you're a complete numpty. So those are your orders. Go and tick that box once you finish today's episode. We've got a few updates from the agency. Just taking the time. We're speeding through this. This is great. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 things this week. And these are quite fun. My team have listened to the first couple of Tuesday tea break talks, as they're called, and they were very, very inspired to pull out some more information and also try some things that they could then share on this. This one is from Daisy in our team, PPC. She's been A/B testing, adding personalization to a collection page on Shopify. There's also talk about personalization. Everyone raves about it. And we've seen some brands have rolled out personalization. It's had 0 uplift. We've seen other brands where we think it's had some uplift. We've not checked it or tested properly. But having done an A/B test on this, the conversion rate now is 6% on this brand, where it used to be 2%. So where we've got personalization on the collection page, when people land on that collection page, we're getting a 6% conversion rate instead of 2%. So literally 3-fold revenue. So naturally, it's being rolled out site-wide at the moment. Second one, We got a new client, classic. We've mentioned this one, I think, the last couple of weeks, but this one I thought was brilliant. Again, I think it's from Daisy. Daisy's been very busy this week. A few of the other guys have been on holiday, so Daisy's been picking up the slack on my list. 10,000 products in one PMAX campaign. Loads of products not getting shown. The ones that are only having a few cents spent on them every month. US business, obviously spending in dollars. We split out the best ranges and allocated budgets specifically to those ranges. On average, we're getting a ×3 uplift on each of these. So although it's a simple exercise to do, the data didn't suggest what ranges to pull out and that kind of thing. We had to dig quite far to see which ones were actually being engaged with the most because sales were low. Had a 3-fold increase in sales since that started. Got a new SEO client, and initially we rewrote all of their collection descriptions using a formula to get our keywords into those collections for SEO. Like anyone worth their money, worth their weight in gold, or worth their money every month in SEO would, we've gone through and used AI and other stuff to try and rewrite some of these things. We have seen very little uplift from that. So we set some humans to work, and some humans have rewritten them. And we've seen that there's one in particular where we went to town on rewriting this collection description. So literally the description you see on the page of the collection, went absolutely to town on that. And we've got 2 enormous keywords, thousands of searches a month on each here in the UK. And we were ranking 5th and 6th for those 2 variations, almost the same keyword, but the 2 variations of that keyword. We were 5th and we were 6th. Within 2 weeks of making these changes, we're 1st for both of them. And suddenly it's like, oh my gosh, we need to invest in content. And I think in marketing, so often, especially with things like SEO, it's hard to go, let's double down on this, double down on that, and double down on that. I think it's so much going on. And it's like, should we do page speed? We can't really measure, okay, page speed gets better. Can't really measure that back to revenue. This is massive, though, in terms of saying we were 5th and 6th, we're now 1st, and traffic has gone up by thousands of clicks a month just on that one page. And it's like, okay, we're now rolling out to several more. So I'll keep you guys posted, but it's going to be a long, long journey before we've done all of them. They've got a lot of products on their site. Number 4 on my list, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. I should have numbered them. I've just put bullet points. Number 4. Lots of customers are buying more than one item on one of our client sites. So very simply, we've added a bulk discount. If you buy 2 or more, you get 10% off. Nice and simple. And interestingly, it was 10% off, but the average order value has increased by 10%. That's after you factor in that discount, we got a 10% increase in average order value, aka 10% increase in revenue across the entire business, which is insane. Again, just from putting one line of code in and automatically applying a discount code to the cart. Again, I should say with all of these, they all sound really, really simple. Like, oh, I'm going to go and try that. We've done this on lots of brands and it doesn't always work. And the devil is always in the data. We call it data mining. So we do a round of data mining and get all the information we need. Then we investigate all of that data. Then we come back with normally a very simple test and learn. Sometimes a bit complicated to deploy some of these things, but very simple. 2 more then. So brand ad copy. So many brands we talk to are like, yeah, I've got a brand advert. If you search my brand name, there's an advert running on Google. It's great. And nothing has changed in 2 years. So I've not changed that. We've done so much testing with all of our clients to see how we might make that brand copy better. The thing with brand as well is someone's already looking for you. You don't want to be spending loads and loads of your budget on your own name. You want to be targeting people that are looking for an unbranded term. So rather than saying, I want to buy one of Nick's, and if you're watching on YouTube, these are real. Someone messaged us and commented the other day saying, hey, I love your background. Like, can I have the same image? And it's like, it's not an image, it's real. I'm touching the plants. If you're listening to this, I'm touching plants in the office. They're real plants. But say I was selling these plants on my store, which I'm not, which this person was quite disappointed about. So I was selling this plant, so Nick's Plant Shop, and I had this brand ad copy. I might say, actually, Nick's Plant Shop, they're all authentic plants. I might do some other ad copy talking about how much my customers love me and the reviews that I get. I might do another set of ad copy talking about the pricing range. I might do another set of ad copy talking about the guarantee and the warranty. By testing all these things, we can work out what's the most efficient and effective thing to put in an advert. People already know about Nick's Plant Shop, so I don't want to start bidding money when they're searching Nick's Plant Shop on Google. What I really want to do is target when people just say artificial plants, and we come up as a really compelling option for artificial plants. So we do lots of tests on this. Almost all of our clients, we put a majority here. It's over 80% of the brands we work with. In their first 6 months, we've managed to lower the cost per click on brand by between 60% and 90%. So massive savings on clicks so that we're not spending too much on brand at all. So one of the first things we look at when we audit any brand is it's also not obvious because of Performance Max, standard shopping, display. It's not always obvious how many people are being retargeted to, or we're targeting because of brand name versus not. As soon as you look at the numbers, you want to keep that in good correlation. You want to spend as little as possible on your brand and as much as possible on non-brand. Telling if you can convert someone that's never heard of you, then you've got really powerful business. So that's the thing we need to focus on. And last one from the team before we talk about fun fact of the week: competitor ad copy. This is one of my secret sauce that I keep up my sleeve until somebody signed a contract with us for many years. But I thought, do you know what? We're all friends now, aren't we, guys? Let's share this one. Competitor ad copy. If you run ads on Google, where if somebody searches up your competitor name, you have an ad, don't just put the same advert you've got in your brand campaign. That's fine. It can work really well. Someone's thinking, I'm going to go and buy some trainers from these guys, and suddenly your ad pops up. You're trying to interrupt that journey. Say, hey, why don't you come check out our trainers? They're cheaper, they're better, they're faster. They've made a better materials, they've got better reviews, they've got better warranty. Again, all those different points you can fight on. If you just put an ad up saying, hey, we're an amazing brand, come check us out, you're missing a trick, I think. The biggest thing you should be doing is looking at why people hate that brand that you're bidding on and put those things in your advert. Don't say everyone hates them because, I'm not saying that. But if everyone's moaning about, I don't know, their delivery times, lovely product, but delivery was really slow. I needed this next day and it took 4 days to arrive. Then you put in your advert, guaranteed next day delivery. And it's like, now I'm guaranteeing it. And if we don't fulfill that next day delivery or next working day delivery or something, then we're going to give you a full refund. And you're going to get way more clicks from that, more engagement. You just need to make sure that when they do land on that landing page, it's there. And that's where some personalization or dynamic content might come in handy. I hope it's helpful. That's a bit of secret sauce for this week. I hope you can improve your burgers using that sauce as a metaphor for your advertising. Final one then. I'm going to give you guys a little minute while I sip my tea. I'm only one sip of tea, whole show. Be going for 15 minutes. But fun fact of the week: how many checkouts per minute has Shopify tested the Shopify Plus checkout up to? So how many checkouts per minute can Shopify Plus definitely handle that they've tested it to? And quick sip of tea, or you have a quick think, or turn to the person next to you, as they say in school, and discuss. Delicious. If you're not watching, this is good tea. This is really good. If you are watching, you can see it in my eyes. Anyway, how many checkouts per minute Shopify Plus been load tested to? The answer, which my colleague Liv got instantly with no context, 10,000. They've tested up to 10,000 checkouts per minute. And on the report that they sent out, it also said, and I've got this in writing here, it also says in the report that I found, if anyone reached 8,000 checkouts in a single minute, we would load test to 20,000, and we expect Shopify Plus to pass. How amazing is that? 10,000 a minute. We can all dream. Challenge accepted, guys. If you're getting close to that, let me know, and I can give Shopify a nudge and be like, hey, got to change this. They're probably watching it anyway. They got, I can't remember how many it is, thousands of engineers at your fingertips on Plus as well, which is amazing. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. Tune in next week, and I hope you've had a lovely cup of tea. And if you've not finished it already, you can go back and listen to other bits of this episode and start writing notes and start deploying some of the stuff. But anyway, nice to see you all. Send me an email and you can win a free cup. Anyway, see you next week.